What's going on, guys? Welcome to my channel. Today what we are going to talk about is diffusers. Ow. Okay, specifically we are going to talk about the LUS Diffuser, the Diffuser, and then we're going to go as far to talk about the LUS hair dryer, as well as this is the 3Q Conair Brushless diffuser that I've been using for the last year. So what we're going to talk about today is the speed, we're going to talk about heat, we're going to talk about cold air, we're going to talk about size and weight, we're going to talk about annoyances, so we'll talk about that soon. We will talk about the cold blast. And the last thing we're going to talk about is the amount of noise that comes out of these things. When are they going to create a silent hairdryer? Seriously, my husband will thank you. So the first things that I want to talk about is really the diffuser size. Now, please take note that the Extava does not actually come with this, but it does fit on it. So with the, did I take out the inner? Oh, I took out the inner ring. So I took out the inner ring and it sits on top of my Conair 360. Now, the Extava diffuser is gigantic, and that's generally why people purchase it, because it fits a lot of hair and it dries your hair relatively quickly because it's got a ton of holes in it, and it also has holes at the top so you can get pretty close into your roots. So one of the things that I like about this versus a diffuser that is kind of flat is the fact that, what do I like about that? Oh, that you can wrap your curls around it. So when it comes in, it's drawing the curls in these in these spiral pieces. So I also like that I can put it in here and push it up. And so I can get all of this root height in here, all of this root volume from using something like this. Now, that's not to say that you can't do the same thing with the LUS dryer, or the LUS diffuser. So one of the things I really like about this is the fact that the prongs are above and not pushed in. So I think it's the Curly Co. That one has super small little like nubbies where you put your hair in the bowl and none of this comes up. And I do prefer something that has larger fingers. So this one you can do the exact same thing as the Extava. The bowl is a little bit smaller, but definitely bigger than a traditional bowl like a Conair. The one that came with this that I already gave away is that this is a pretty big bowl. So you can do the same thing. You can also take it over here and push up. And these fingers are in here. So they've pushed up my hair and I can dry it like that to get that additional volume. Okay, one of the things that I love about the LUS diffuser, and this was my favorite feature of this, is the fact that you can open and close for the amount of airflow that you want. So see the metal pieces in here right now? I can just slide to the side, and now I have more airflow. One of the things I absolutely despise about this thing is the amount of air that comes through it. The Conair, it is a ton of airflow. This is one of the things that really gets me upset. It really, like, what's the word? It really grinds my gears, is the amount of airflow that comes out of here, especially with this Conair 3Q. So I'm going to turn this on. I'm just going to show you guys what a day in the life of trying to diffuse your hair with this looks like. It's on. When you try to put it in, your hair blows. So you're getting like a wonky curl because it's pushing it out. Sorry guys, and that is the lowest settings. This is a quick no makeup add-in, but I did want to show you guys how much quieter the LUS blow dryer is. So similar to my last video. Oh. And then you can also see that it doesn't move my hair. So, and then the loud, like the second, the higher setting. So number 2 is. So the lowest setting still pushes my hair out of the way when I try to diffuse it, and now if it goes to high, it's just crazy. So you're forced to pixie diffuse with this. So the next thing we're going to talk about is functionality. And so what you can see on the 3Q is that you have a cold button, and this is actually an excellent feature because you can just leave it on if you want to cold blast your hair, which is pretty nice because in a lot of hair dryers you have to hold it, including in this one you have to hold it. It has a cool, a warm, and a hot. I would say it's more like a no heat, a burn your scalp, and then set your hair on fire. Those are pretty much what these actually are. And then it has an off, a low, and a high. And similarly, this has an off, a low, and a high for the actual fan. And then for the heat, again, this is like, it's like low heat. I would say not no heat, but low heat. And then a burn your scalp, and then set your hair on fire again. So like there is a big difference between the number 1 and the number 2, and the same goes for this. So typically what will happen is I'll put it on the number 2 and I will push, like I'll pulse it in order to not set my scalp on fire and burn off my hair. So both of these, the heating settings are really, really high. One other thing for this guy, which drives me nuts, is this one sucks in everything. So if you're blow drying your hair and there's a towel, it will suck in the towel. If you're blow drying your hair and you're sitting on your bed, it will suck in the sheets. Like it sucks in everything. I haven't really had it suck in my hair yet, thank God. I'm just not sure if my hair is like not long enough. But this one, I have not had that issue. It doesn't do that. And this screen is on par with the edge of the hair dryer, whereas this one is in, so it goes in, and so it allows more airflow to come in and more things to get stuck in there. So I've actually had a lot of problems with this. In fact, as I look in here, there's a ton of my hair caught in the back of this, so perhaps it is taking my hair when I'm blow drying it. Perhaps like some pieces are going in the back, I'm not sure. So that's definitely a benefit of the LUS hair dryer and diffuser. Other than that, guys, I would definitely say, depending on what your budget is, make your decisions wisely. I know a lot of people like the Conair Infinity Pro. I think that is a pretty similar hair dryer to this guy, but you can get it less than $100. I'm not sure, and I do think that one also holds on to the Extava. I mean, when you look at this, it's $100 plus the Extava was about 40 bucks that I bought it for. I mean, it's 140 versus 190 Canadian, or 110 American, and 140 American. So really it just depends on what you want. I do enjoy saving time, so I have been very happy with this LUS hair dryer. And again, one of the biggest things that really annoys me is how much airflow that this one has. And so I no longer have to pixie diffuse, which has also cut down my time in dry time. One of the last things I want to talk about is the plugs, and I never would have thought that this is something that I would have even cared about, but this plug is for the Conair 3Q brushless, and it annoys me so much. So I usually blow dry either in my bedroom or in the washroom, and I always have to unplug anything else that is plugged in while this is being plugged in. So you can plug it in the bottom, but then I have had some issues with plugging something in on the top. And it also has these guys, which sometimes you have to press to make sure that it actually turns on. There's a test. Like, this is a heavy duty plug, whereas the LUS is just prongs. So you can put this anywhere and you'll be okay. So this is actually something that I didn't think would be like a pro or a con, but I would give the pro to the LUS hair dryer and diffuser. So I think that's it, guys. Please do message me if you have any questions below. I'm happy to answer those questions and make sure that you get what you need out of this review. Thanks, guys.